Halloween comes before All Saints' Day. You may have heard of it. You may not have heard of it because in terms of festivals, yeah, I guess when the Christians arrived, these were long-standing. All Hallows Eve was already there. It wasn't named that. It was Samhain. It was a winter solstice festival. But we're going to have a little teensy. So hallowed means holy. I'm not sure if everybody realises that. When I was a little girl, in the Lord's Prayer, it says, hallowed be thy name. And I thought it meant everybody would say hello, like God had been hallowed by everybody. It doesn't mean that. I don't want to burst your bubble if you still believe that. Sorry. Hallowed means holy. So holy be thy name. And therefore All Hallows, we have places in England called All Hallows. I'm getting to Samhain, don't panic. Is another way to say all the holies. And it's also known as All Saints' Day. And this is the eve of All Saints' Day, which is the 1st of November. So I guess because we can't truly know the amount of people who are, I mean, for Protestants, everybody is the same. Yeah, we have a slightly different meaning. We don't have to be canonized or, yeah, we're just saints already. Also sinners because we're lists. But we don't know how many people, you know, the martyrs in heaven, etc. So we just lump them all together into All Saints' Day. And I've got 2 sets of notes, so I'm just going to skim. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I don't know how that works. Let me pull it out. No, I'm going back to the first one. I'm too scared. I don't like it. Okay, let's come back to that screen. Okay, no, I'm just going to go with the Christian. I'm going to do from memory some of the things. So I know that Ireland, especially also England, Scotland, of course, like they migrated, you know, between Ireland and Scotland, there's a shared history. And prior to Christianity arriving, these were long-held, centuries-long traditions. And I don't truly believe, I'll get to what I believe about Halloween. I don't think it's cause for concern if you've got a faith that is based, or just based, I could have stopped it there, not woke faith, but if it's based in the Bible and, you know, you can see the relevant verses, there's no need for any trepidation or any, like, I guess it's a part of the history of my country. And I am not one for erasing history or pulling down statues or pretending it all didn't happen because it did. So I don't believe that, you know, the vast majority of Irish people were knowingly worshipping like Satan / minions. But we get there, we get there, we get there. I should have switched my Skype off, so that is what I'm going to do. Goodbye, everybody. Right, so back at the ranch. She will get there. She just waffles a bit and speaks about herself in the 3rd person. My notes are down here. Never go for a drink on Halloween and then say, or the night before, and say, I'll do a stream. Okay, so why, let's get there. Why All Hallows Eve? We've just like established, I guess, a reason for a remembrance or a memorial of all the saints, all the holies, all the hallowed. But now, what's that got to do with the night before, as it were? So if you think, I guess like, I don't know, Star Wars fans or people who like to buy the latest phone the very second it comes out, like you kind of line up the night before, maybe if you're queuing to get into a festival or an Apple store, like with no sense of like me endorsing their products because Eve didn't get on very well with that Apple. Like, so the night before the actual release date is what I'm driving at. And Catholics couldn't seem to wait for the actual day of something because there are quite a few vigil days where there is the celebration of the evening before the thing. I mean, we also, like, you know, non-Catholics alike, we have Christmas Eve and we have the eve of Christ's Mass. So, you know, it's quite cute, I think. You know, and the celebration of other vigils also actually have outfits and, you know, candles etc. So on the eve of All Hallows, All Saints' Day, we remember that everybody, saint or otherwise, that's from a Catholic perspective, or believer or otherwise, has a choice. This is the crux of it, between good and evil. We have free will. If you don't think so, you may wonder why I've dressed like this. It was my free will. That's the cut and dry of it. So I guess in terms of trick and treat, like if you want to get serious for a second, we have a real choice whether to be tricked into hatred, into fear, into anxiety, into death, basically. I don't want to say choose life because it sounds a bit train spotting, but choose life. Like, what's wrong with people? Eternal life. Actually, if your life is not brilliant at the moment, don't imagine that like extrapolated out for eternity, because that, you know, you may choose a more immediate death. But yeah, that's the trick. The treat is like loving each other, quite frankly. I don't want to go all soppy, but get over it. I'm tough most of the time. So some people would say that Halloween is not a Christian holiday because it was, and well, not so much is, it was deliberately, intentionally celebrated at the same time as the pagan like autumn harvest festivals. And that there's some truth to that. But the thing is, like, if you're, I don't know what Baphomet does in California. I don't know if he's got any special days or, you know, whatever. If your birthday's on that day, you can celebrate a day any day you like. You should celebrate every day because Christ died for you. Whether you're bothered or not is another, you know, celebrate. There's no, for my 2 pence of what it's worth, like I'm not, you know, I am actually, I'm speaking with authority, like from my own life. I'm going to go really cocky. You're just on an iodine to nothing if you're waking up in the morning cursing God because you've woken up in the morning. There's no fruitfulness. There's nothing there. Like if you're not, you know, if God is for you, who can be against you? And what is it of yours? Like being anxious, being depressed, being sad, being lonely, because all of those things can be and are counted in Christ, but not only in Christ. Like there's non-tambourine banging Christians out there. There's non-kumbaya, nothing against you people, but there's, you know what I mean? Like there's normal people who just happen to know the truth about the truth and worship in spirit and in truth. So it is like a Christian festival. It basically is. It was, what happened is, rather than like certain religions may want to sweep in somewhere and just stamp out any identity of any, like still we see it to this day with things being torn down in certain countries by certain regimes. I'll just go ahead and say Islamist. However, what the church sought to do, hi John, welcome. So what the church, but what the church sought to do was, rather than, you know, like wipe out what was already there, you'll notice that All Saints' Day it falls around the time of this pagan festival that was very much concerned with the end of certain things and the beginning of new things. Like it was, you know, the reason for the costumes that I don't mean that like Americans dressing up as the Mario Brothers or whatever. I mean like the, you know, witches and goblins and demon costumes was in order that the dark forces that were on, you know, that were coming in, basically, we're going into winter, would leave you alone. And that your family members, I guess dead ones, would be able to find you because your home would be really well lit, and the jack-o'-lanterns and the pumpkins and the yada yada. So if you can't celebrate Halloween, you should come to realize actually that every single Christian holiday has the same problem. Easter was timed, at least originally, during like the Passover festival. And therefore, is it not right now to celebrate Easter because of something else? And there were Jewish Christians, of course. So that kind of co-opting, that kind of, you know, if you see something wrong, please do feel free to put it on a postcard and send it to kdoesn'tcare.com. No, I'm joking. Put it in the comments section. As we spread out, we did co-opt bunnies and eggs. Yeah, there may be some bunnies and eggs, like Babylon bunnies and Ishtar eggs, as it were. There are other traditions because we are, like Lewis would argue against me, but there are elements of I don't know how I want to say it, not nature worship, but we see that creation is evidence in and of itself of the divinity and existence of God. And it's a pretty big evidence because the Bible tells us no one's going to have an excuse just because of like looking at a couple of blades of grass and a daffodil. Like, I don't want to get poetic about it, but look up. Yeah, just look out the window, look, you know, wherever you are, just look up and see how like teensy weensy we are. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing that I'm not running this show. That is for sure. So Christmas was celebrated during a Roman feast, Saturnalia. And again, like winter solstice traditions, if you want to have Christmas in December, you're going to have to like just nudge them out of the way slightly or just invite them in. We're a very inviting people. We don't seek to subjugate. We want to have individuals have a conversion like of their heart, like from stone to flesh. It's not, there's no point in, you know, I can well imagine that there are people who stay in Islam, for example, because they're too fearful to openly leave. They kind of, they're not in it, but they don't say anything. There's no point in forcing people to confess Christ because that is so antithetical to being Christian that it just sounds stupid even as I said it. And Christianity does tend to be countercultural, most especially now. If you don't feel like a minority, even though we are a majority, the full force of the mainstream of, you know, educational systems, of government policies. My own government said that prayer, Christian prayer specifically, was akin to torture. Like, I'm not advocating those people be tortured, and then we ask them again, obviously. But I'd say, well, I don't know about obviously, but I'd say, guess again, idiots, or something loving and forgiving. We get there. Not all Christians, however, have been gentle. We're countercultural. It doesn't mean we're culture destroying. It doesn't mean that we seek to dominate in those terms because we don't fight against the flesh, although it is nice to have somewhere like a hovel in the medieval I don't know, like you need a house, you need a church, you need a, you know, somewhere to work, somewhere to worship, somewhere to like sleep, basically. But that doesn't mean we move in and, you know, I'm really not saying, because I was really upset recently with something that came out about, you know, a long period of time. I'm not saying that bad people haven't infiltrated certain, well, probably all major churches. And, but I just had this very argument with somebody who I've known for years, and they're just a dreadful socialist, lovely person, but just awful politics. If they could find me it from the Bible, like advocating this like disgusting behavior, whereas I can find it in certain other religious texts. And I digress. Back to Halloween. So Christians haven't always been gentle, but we have spread, as it were, organically, as opposed, even the Crusades were not in order to conquer and stamp, you know, like it was, they were defensive, and not all of them were, like, you know, a couple of the sequels were a bit naff, if you don't mind me saying, but there were at least two good ones. Yeah, so we've spread organically. We traveled because of our own persecution. That's how, at least, you know, that's how like Alban came to England fleeing persecution, and Ireland also was a great exporter of like missionaries or monks or whatever is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. And Cherokee's there. My little love. Okay, so There are times, of course, when organic may turn a bit spiteful, toxic, but we grow as long as we live the principles, like the values that we hold, as long as we're still displaying them. Because, like I've said it before, I'm going to say it again because I've had a glass of wine. Like, you may be the only bit of the Bible. Like, you know, don't be a wet blanket about it. Don't, like, put someone in a coma. But even without speaking about Jesus, if people know you are with him and he's in you, then they may wish to know, like, you know, how you're such a great guy or something along those lines. You know, smile at people. It's all right. They'll think you're crazy, but so what? It's better than scowling. So yeah, we've got the information that they need, and we have to be transformed. Quite frankly, daily. That is just for me. I don't know about you people. So on October the 31st, as it is, I guess that I'm not really, I mean, I don't know where I stand on it. I do know where I stand on it. Paul speaks about, you know, food is sacrificed to idols. It is actually sacrificed to demons. That's not necessarily saying that the people doing the idolatry, as it were, or the pagans are in any way aware of that. We need to be accessible, and we need to be able to call people to a Christ who they're not frightened to go to. They're not assuming like this wrathful judgment. They should be assuming it if they don't come, but still we're not threatening them or cajoling them or blackmailing them in that fashion, because again, there's no point in you know, just saying yes, yes, and it's not the case. Your yes has to be a yes and your no is a no. But I don't know, gentleness. We don't want to go stamping out traditions. And quite frankly, I don't see the harm in you know, costumes and dressing up. It's what's at the heart of it. Christians can do these things, most certainly. We can remember evil on the 31st of October. We can remember it every day, to be fair. We can remember being evil. Let's not get it twisted. Jesus calls us evil. I wasn't always a choir girl. So the following day, so we remember the darkness, as it were, on the 31st. And then on the 1st, after we've pinched and punched and first day of the month, I don't know if you do that where you are, then, you know, we focus our hearts then on holiness and reverence of holiness, because all hallows, like, you know, we can do. There it is in the name. The name is on the title. And then on November 2nd, we remember the dead, our beloved dead, and I'm racking them up, to be fair, this year. I think they should all just stop dying now, really, but you can't really do that. So it can be a Christian holiday, is what I'm trying to tell you. It is, in essence, it is a Christian holiday, but it can be celebrated as a Christian holiday. There's nothing wrong. I'm not advising you, actually, you know, the dead are the dead. Let's not get it twisted. There is little need, unless you are a Catholic. I'm not sure about the Orthodox. Unless you believe in purgatory, there is no need to pray for the dead. You know, what's happened is what's happened. We don't know. I have an inkling. You know, your final moments on this earth, I don't believe they are as quick for that person as they may seem to us, because it always seems too quick for us. You know, it's like that thing, they died instantly. Everybody dies instantly. There's one instant you're alive, and then the next instant you're not. But how long that lasts, and what, you know, what God is able to imprint upon you in that time is, quite frankly, none of our business. We're not to ask who will ascend unto heaven. Yes, Victoria, it's the intent. It's the what we choose to remember and what we choose to honor. And quite frankly, that's every day. Like, we don't need to. I definitely don't need an occasion to wear black, obviously. Like, just try. I was thinking it before I started this. I was thinking, like, if you knew, people, if you could walk into my wardrobe, like, when I say to myself, where's that black top? It's over. They're all black tops. So, I mean, you know, you can get a grip at any time, but I'm not doing that, it seems. I do have a blue top, a Captain America one. So So there you go. I've just said it as if I'm confessing like a big crime. And I think I've got a grey T-shirt somewhere. I'll wow you with it one day. So any day of the year can be utterly secular, obviously. Just look around you. But every day must be, for us, like an opportunity. Like, the good thing about the church calendar, I say, is that it has a regularity and a season for this certain thing and that certain thing. It's good to have, Good Friday, quite frankly, and Maundy Thursday and Ash Wednesday and all of the. I love a pancake as well, Shrove Tuesday. But it's about, what would you be doing at Easter if you weren't thinking about the death and the resurrection? Like, obviously, you could be in the pub. I don't mean literally watching a game of football. I mean, that's the time of the year that we remember it. And yet, as Christians, we remember it every single day. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, just briefly, there's like quite a drive now to stamp out Christmas, to hate Christmas, to say happy holidays. No, it's always Merry Christmas. It's going to be carry on being Merry Christmas. Australia, what are you doing with your lives? Not the people. I mean, the upper echelons. They had a drive to ask Christians to not put Christian on the census. I mean, the inference for me, at least, is there'll be less public funding available if they assume there are less Christians there. Like, it's very odd to openly come out and say, hey, Christians, can you just not? Like, do you mind? And whilst they were speaking about this, some statistician, I've got no problem with statistics, I like maths. However, she just veered off into bigging up Satanism. I'm not even joking. I'll find the clip. I was like, what? There's people openly saying that Satanism is a good idea. Let me just set you straight if you're ever thinking about black lipstick and going to California. You can't stay pale, by the way, if you're in California. It's not going to work. You're not going to look like sort of emo gothic style. The point is that Satanists, for all it's a made-up nonsense, because they have no real ancient scripture and anything like that, and Aleister Crowley was a bit of a nutcase. But apart from that, they acknowledge the existence of God. So they're literally rooting for the loser. It's all it's just all self stuff. Who wants to be stuck with self? Not me, because I tried that, and like I say, it's not. You don't wake up happy every morning, and I am blessed with that, even though some evenings are pretty long and distressing. So, avoid the tricks of evil. Let me just bring it back down before I start proper bunnying, and treat each other nicely. Treat each other kindly. Treat each other. Imagine, it's not even about how you want to be treated, because you might be a masochist. I don't know. The point is, Christ has treated you more kindly and with more tenderness and more understanding and more patience and goodness and good faith gestures and all of those things than you will ever be treated by any human being. Every human being you ever interact with, no matter how well they treat you, you can't know their heart and you can't know their mind. You can only know what they say. However, Christ already knows your heart and knows your mind and loves you anyway. Can you believe it? I can't, because I know what's in my heart and mind, and it ain't pretty a lot of the time. So you've got the choice, basically. You can treat your neighbour like a donut, or you can, imagine. You don't even have to empathise. Please, just try it. It can be difficult. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me started. There are people who are just designed to irritate, it seems. But then again, I'm one of them also, for somebody else. So it's just about, what would Jesus do, basically, without sounding corny and American? Sorry to Americans. When I say that, I don't mean you. I just mean cheesy. And it's not easy being cheesy. So big up, Americans. I think that's me. I think I literally just waffled my way into a standstill. It doesn't happen very often, but now I'm going to look at the chat and stop being a donut. So, any questions? Anyone want to screech autistically at me that that I've now veered into Satan worship or anything along those. I don't know. That would be exciting, but not true. Chin chin, by the way. Armour of God is running about making friends with cashiers. I see. Well, you stick to your guns, love. I know you're not allowed guns over there, but you stick to them anyway if you ever get a permit. And that, all right, then that's another thing. If the mainstream, like in secular society, is pushing something on you, don't do it. It's my first advice. Like, just take that as a hi. I can't even. Can I pronounce your name? Would I back? Uzma. That's what I'm going to say because I don't want to mispronounce that bit. Hi, Bill. So yeah, society is more than happy to say Christmas is, cancelled this year. Last year they did that to us in Britain. To denigrate Christ. If you look on eBay for jokey, like Jesus t-shirts all day long, they don't bother me, to be fair. They really don't. There's a guy at Speaker's Corner who keeps repeating the same like vulgar stuff. That does bother me, but only because I find intentional retardation to be insulting. Like, Jesus actually gave this guy a brain and he's deciding to like be pathetic with it. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily get into it with people if they are like stunned and offended and clutching their twin set and their purple hair and like doing a "oh no, Trump's won" kind of vibe at you because you don't want to buy a pumpkin. Like, I don't know, just smile. That will irritate them more. But yeah, God puts the people in your way that you need to speak to. Some days he might just keep putting mirrors. You know what I mean? It might be you that needs to be had a word with. But that's all right as well. Just shows that he still cares. So yeah, Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, the thing about Christmas trees is get over it. That's the thing. That's my like real life answer. To just what? Do what you like in your own house, then carry on doing what you like in your own house, and then do some more stuff that you want to do in your own house that you paid for all this stuff. If you want a Christmas tree and a turkey with an apple up its inside it, like, do it. Who are these people? These killjoys, these Puritans? We already had this shizzle in my country. Don't let them come to a town near you. Right. Questions or, I don't know, at this point, anything really. But I do have church tomorrow, but my clocks are going back, so I have church late tomorrow. My favourite thing about Christmas is buying the gifts. I just like buying people gifts. Don't get excited, everyone. It's not happening. I don't look like there's thousands of subscribers. But I just like it. It's the putting the thought into it and I don't know. I just like it. But I don't like it when I leave, like a procrastinate and start running around having a nervous breakdown on Christmas Eve. That's not happening anymore. I can't live like that. It's awful. Villainous. JC and I go to different churches for theological reasons, also like residential reasons. He did agree, like he is coming. If you mean Jesus Christ, I go to church with him every Sunday, and he lives like there. But if you mean JC, then I did invite him and he was going to come, but I think, yeah, he's got some like ongoing stuff with his own church, like commitments that he doesn't want to dishonor. But he is more than welcome to come to my church. It is like very big. I don't think it ever gets packed out apart from royal weddings or something like that. So it would be fine. Yeah, no, I'm not is the answer. No, I've got a friend coming, someone who you all know is coming to Speaker's Corner tomorrow after a long time. So that'll be good. He is also not coming to church with me because he has his own home group here. However, there are some of us, I imagine if John is coming tomorrow, Bloodfire, he will be coming with me, and some other people who you might not know, but you might know their faces. It's nice. Sometimes I still get to go on my own, but it's lovely. I'm not allowed to record in there, otherwise, although I do voice note sometimes, the choir. I might do that and try and upload it. I don't know how. We get to the tech stuff later. Okay, so she's waffling again. Really? Any questions? Otherwise, I hit the button because I have stuff to do and an extra hour to do it in. At the moment, Usma, no, I'm not really. Well, I'm not Discord debating. That's for sure. Speakers Corner, the Muslims seem to have. Don't know. They don't seem to want to be my. Well, they're all right, but I don't get to debate a lot. But I'm not taking on any new stuff. I've got some stuff coming with AP. I've got uni stuff coming at my ear rolls. You can't see it; it's invisible stuff. But I'm under a small mountain of deadlines, and I just got another assignment dropped on me that's due in on Bonfire Night. You don't have that, but it's well, not all of you have that. That's the 5th of November. So I have to do a whole big thing on the New and Old Testament, just put it out of the air. So thank you very much for the offer, but no, thank you very much. Any more questions? Tyler, oh, you don't know what you're doing to me. Yes, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I started to feel like a bit of a bully, like, I don't know, but yeah, he kind of follows me like a little puppy. So I probably will. Thank you very much, Usman. That's very kind of you. Right. Any last requests, as it were? I don't mean music-wise. And other than that, I got a couple of people to talk to and a couple of shizzles to do. Right, I think you're just chit-chatting now. I don't want to press the button because you won't be able to chit-chat. You see what I mean? It's nice to be nice, but go on. Talk to me. Otherwise, I'd say I'm going home, but I'm already home. Okay. All right. I'm going to press the first button just in case. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, basically, because you're all boring. No, I'm joking. Right, so Halloween, do it or don't do it. Don't let anyone start like wagging their finger at you. Obviously, don't worship any demons while you're at it. Does it go without saying? I think it should, but I just said it anyway. Thank you very much, John. Phil, we will do that video on us. We will. I said it here first or second or third, but yeah, we will. Okay, Cherokee, I'm taking your word for that one. I don't know what that was all about, but I hope everybody's remembering their manners in the chat. All right, I pressed the first button because no one else is going to do it for me. Yeah, anyone who desires like to continue, I don't know what the beef or what the anything is, you can go in the comment section, I reckon. If you put links in though, just know this, it won't show up. It just won't. And that's by design because I don't allow links because people just get heavily excited and start linking to God knows what. And I don't think it's very nice or safe. So God bless you, Cherokee. And yeah, have a nice All Hallows Eve. Have a nice All Saints Day. Also, hi, Carol. Go to church. Give it a go. Take communion. You never know. Like, start looking into what your church offers. And if you don't, if you go to your church and you don't feel the tingle, like the Holy Spirit tingle, go to another one. Keep going until you find where you feel at home. Obviously, doctrine notwithstanding, check out the statements of faith for, whatever you're looking into. If you're a Protestant, at least, and you're non-denominational, have a little look-see. Doesn't mean you have to start, like, carrying a banner or tattooing stuff on you, like, just quietly have a little look, because I looked for a long time, and I think I'm kind of, pretty much 99% where I am. I agree. So, Armor of God, you are always so welcome. It's unbelievable. Just, I don't know why. I've been asking the management. They're not telling me. but you are very welcome. Nice. Vil, drop me the link in Discord, please. I don't know, I'll still be coherent, but you don't need to be to watch stuff. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to love you people. Very bad at goodbyes. Don't like abandonment. Not really that good with, you know, but I'm going to press the button because somebody's got to. So, get a pumpkin. Just get over it. Don't worship any demons. And if you want to, I can give you a proper history of Samhain. Sorry. Oh my God, I just realised you said the right. Midway, darkness, light, spirits abroad, as it were, meaning here, not meaning in Magaluf. Festival of Light, to ward off the darkness, because unfortunately the darkness is coming. By the time it gets to October 31st, you're right into winter. And as of tonight, like, give it a couple of weeks and England will be pitch dark at 5 p.m. And I mean, I love a farmer. Farmers are great, but people get run over because they don't see, you know, the cars don't see them and stuff. It's pretty hairy. Potentially, Tyler, I hope so. But however, because my friend's like in the country for a little while and they're coming to Speaker's Corner, and then we are going out for, I would say drink, but I'm going to say gin and tonic afterwards. I might not be fit for purpose and Sundays are quite tiring. But yes, I may just bang out, as it were. That doesn't sound odd. Like actual Samhain stuff. Samhain. Yeah, why not? She didn't just promise that, anybody, because I might be really tired, but I might. There's no point putting it out on the 1st. So it may just be a post if I feel really guilty. Bill, please tell me to press the button. I know he's thinking it, so I'm going to go. Right. Lots of love. Happy Halloween. Happy All Saints Day. Get over yourselves. Don't listen to Disney. They're a bit noncy. And, yeah, keep it Jesus. And all of the rest is forgivable. So, Sam Hain, Mr. Hain to his friends. Samuel, yes. All right. I'll see you later. Ciao.